Listen here, my little younglings. Yes, I'm calling you younglings. My birthday came up. I'm 36. You may refer to me as a wise elder. I've always had a problem with the fact that when it comes to handhelds, we basically don't have a separation between the actual brains and screen that make a handheld smart and performant and and the box fell. And the fact that we can modularize that, take a phone, because the phone is basically what makes a handheld special, and just attach a controller to it. Yeah, of course, we have all sorts of controllers, the telescopic ones, that like Gameser that, you can stretch, but those are clunky and those are not pocketable. You cannot carry it around. This is a true fact. That's why I was always a fan of magnetic controllers, ones that you attach to your phone like this, and then you basically have something akin to the PSP Go. Not a lot of companies, for some reason, has ever explored this option, except OSnap, which made this beautiful controller called the Mcon, this one, and this is truly, as of the time of making this video, one of a kind, in the sense that no other company has tried to replicate this. Maybe they are trying, but maybe it takes a long time. I think this is a winning recipe for oh so many reasons that I'm gonna get into right now. But before I actually talk about this controller, this beautiful black controller, the black colorway is the best in my opinion, I want to preface with a small story. I turned 36 a couple of days ago, and right on my birthday, plus minus a week so that I'm truly truthful, this came. This is the Mcon, and I couldn't buy the Mcon, not even if I wanted to give 10 kidneys for it, because during the Kickstarter there was no delivery for Romania, and there isn't now either. Oh snap, please fix delivery for most of Europe. There's a lot of people that salivate over, over this thing. So imagine my surprise when Josh, the guy that actually created this controller, hit me up and asked me if I want a review unit. And of course, I said yes. But they didn't just send me a review unit, my beautiful younglings. They sent me a care package, which I think is just adorable. Just let me see how I'll open this. There we go, something like this. They sent me the Mcon. I loved this. A beautiful little note, handwritten with, oh, "Hi Vlad, we hope you enjoy your Mcon." I did enjoy my Mcon. I actually finished Legacy of Kain Defiance from top to bottom in the few days since I had this thing. And I played it everywhere, from the couch, from outside, from the throne room where we go and we historically used to read the paper. It was quite honestly a blast. Before I continue and talk about this, I just want to mention nobody paid for this review, nobody saw this review beforehand. As always, everything that you hear here are my own words, my dear nerds. So I'm gonna split this video into two halves. The first part is the actual review, where I try to be as informative as possible, and the second part is where I put in my thoughts, my own personal bias, and my own personal let's say, impressions of where I hope this whole magnetic controller new form factor will go. Coming back to the box, though, I love this fake grass filler. It's the first time I saw something like this. This is actually pretty cool. They also sent me 2 pairs of socks. Ha! Mcon socks. Yeah? This is actually quite cute. I never actually checked them out up until this point. I was busy with the controller, but what does it say? Go outside? How did they know? How the heck did they know that I need to go outside? Pretty nice. and a few stickers as well. Let's check these out with my very delicate reviewer unboxing skills. I'm from the Mcon, the Android guy running away, I like. Mature 17 plus. This I agree with. I think the whole market is middle-aged, old people like me and you the guy probably watching. Probably us were most passionate about a controller like this because we have nostalgic memories with the PSP Go more than these young people that would play in the schoolyard, but I digress. And go play. These are pretty cool. I'm gonna stick these all over my little office here later. I want to quickly try the socks if you'll permit me, and if you hang around for a second longer. I think this might be pretty cool. Sock review, everyone. Oh snap. Pretty comfy socks, I have to say. I don't know if you can buy them separately. The box itself is actually quite pretty nicely done, considering it's their first controller that they made. You have quite a few instructions here, or more rather features of the controller. Anyway, the box is pretty nice. Let's open this thing up to do a very quick, short, fake unboxing. And here we have the beautiful controller itself, along with some instructions on how to launch, eject, and re-enter. There's a joke there. I'm not gonna make it. This is family-friendly channel. I review handhelds, controllers, and socks, my dear nerds. You get an Android ring, similar to the one that I have on my phone case here. In case your phone doesn't have MagSafe, then you need this adapter ring, which you can stick on either your phone or your case for it to magnetically attach. I'm gonna come back to this and to the whole mechanism a bit later. Then we have a quick snap leaflet manual. Anyway, we're not wasting time with this. It's very nice and considerate of them that they put a magnetic adapter ring here, which I can't seem to be able to take out. There we go. This is very nice to have. These are actually more useful than I thought they would be. I have, as a side note, for this magnetic ring, I actually have a few more uses, like putting your own magnetic stand. You can now stick your phone to the fridge if you want. There's a magnet here. You can also use it as a stand like this. You know, whenever I try to make a review, that's when this seems more complicated, or even in portrait mode. So the point of this video is not to showcase this, but to showcase the possibilities that you can unlock with having a magnetic ring like this. Coming to the controller though, let me clean. There we are. You know, people might say that I'm crazy, but I really think the black colorway is the best variant that they have. Currently, from their store, you can buy either the black colorway or you can get the day colorway, aka the white colorway. But again, if you watched me for a long time, you know that I love matte black, specifically all black handhelds. The biggest crime in this hobby of ours is to make a black controller or handheld and then put rainbow buttons here, or M&M style buttons. I think they're called M&M buttons. The whole shtick about this controller is this new fancy mechanism. Instead of having a telescopic controller, you get to have a fully functional one that you basically stick in your pocket. And it's actually very scalable. This magnetic puck, you can take it out or move it around depending on how big the camera bump on your phone is. So if you have a big protruding camera bump, you can just move this magnet lower so the camera bump would have space here. Now, this is not a problem for me because my phone doesn't really have a big camera bump, but they really thought of how to make this controller as cross-compatible as possible. Let me just adjust it back for my controller. I think this is a good fit. Good enough. I will just move it a bit like this. Now it should be good. Good enough. So we have this spring mechanism instead of the telescopic arm that we would see on telescopic controllers. It's powered by, I assume, a spring here. In order to release it, you have to press this button. In order to pair it, you actually have a pairing button, which is super friendly to do. Then, if you worry about this not being ergonomic, because at first glance, you might think that this setup is top heavy because of the phone, and you're afraid that your wrist will get tired, wrists, I mean, then you can pull out these little grip legs. How the heck should I call them? Reviewer of the freaking year. I don't have my words on me. But anyway, now if we open it, now you have a comfy area to actually grip the controller, and it takes a lot of pressure from the wrists. These new technology TMR sticks are actually very comfortable, at least in my opinion. They are ingressed in this little canal of theirs, but when you actually play them and use your thumbs to control them, you will find that they are quite accurate, to the point where you start thinking what the heck was all the other sticks that you used on other controllers. You have no dead zone with these. They are so accurate that even if you just move them a little, like I would do here, you would have that registered in-game, which is very good in games like, for example, Legacy of Kain, where you can make your character just walk instead of running. Testing out the triggers, I have a lot of sensitivity here. I'm barely touching it, and you see. Now, why am I showing this in particular? Well, the thing is that we don't really have analog triggers, good or bad, in a controller this size, at least not one that I can think of, and they are, by themselves, very accurate. You can see with these legs, with these grip legs, ergonomic legs drawn out, they were basically squeezed in here, and they still have quite a bit of travel to them. Not that I want to praise these guys too much, but this is some impressive engineering that they did right here. Now the controller isn't connected because it only connects when you open it. Now that I opened it, it would connect in a couple of seconds, as long as Moonlight caught it. And you have a lot of sensitivity here, both in racing games, which, you need analog triggers for racing games, but also when it comes to the sticks. The sticks are crazy sensitive to the point where it will take you quite a bit of time to get used to it. Don't get me wrong, you will be more accurate. It's good to have more sensitivity. More sensitivity basically means more freedom of control in a lot of games. But at first, because like me, you're probably trained with Xbox controllers and very poopy controllers from the past, when you actually have sensitive sticks, at first it will appear a bit odd. But it's not odd. They did very well by going with sensitive sticks. They don't have, they maybe they have a very little dead zone, but it's so little that personally I can't notice it. To an extent, I want to use the D-pad when playing these games because the sticks are really something to get used to. Again, they're not bad. They're not bad at all. I'm just a peasant with actual good inputs here for my thumbs. But coming back to the D-pad, this is one of the best feeling clicky D-pads out there. I'm pretty sure these are... I don't think this is a dome switch. I'm not sure. They seem a lot like what Retroid and Ion has in their handhelds. If you know the kind that gives you actual click feedback, you feel when you press a diagonal, you feel when you press left, right, up or down. I feel like I have a lot of control here. It has a good pivot, and most importantly for me, it feels way better than those mushy D-pads like what we have here. This can get the job done, don't get me wrong. The Anbernic controller can get the job done, and the D-pad can get the job done, but I would rather choose this D-pad on the on the Mcon any time of the day. It genuinely reminds me of Ion and Retroid, and as we know by now, they kind of lead the market when it comes to how quality their D-pads are in, you know, their handhelds. What else do we have? Of course, USB-C charging. You can take the top off. There's an eject button. Personally, this is not for me, but I can see a lot of people that might be into this. Let me just go back in the game. You can snap your phone like this, place it over there, and then you use the controller as if it's basically a normal external controller. This is good. Not that I want to repeat what other reviewers said. Actually, let me put it like this so that you can see better. Not that I want to repeat what other reviewers said, but this is good if your phone supports video out and you want to connect it to a TV so that you can consoleify your phone. In this case, the fact that it's detachable like this is actually pretty dang awesome for the right crowd. When you want to put it back, you just have to fit it. You will feel when it's properly in. Yeah, it's in from the first go. This is nice. And when you're done, you just snap these back. Now, bear in mind, these legs, they have quite a bit of resistance to them. I loosened them up over the days in which I actually used it, but at first it genuinely took a bit of force to take them out, so don't be afraid. You won't ruin this controller if you would have to put a lot of force in taking these legs out at the beginning. And it also can connect with up to 3 devices at once, so you don't have to repair and to pair the controller again with another device. You just pair once with up to 3 devices, and then you can switch between them, which is pretty cool, especially if you're not gonna use this controller just with your phone. So, where do I want to see this going? In my own head, the Mcon is the beginning of a whole new form factor of controllers. One that will take market share from the handhelds that we know and love. And I love this. I think this is immensely necessary. Competition drives innovation. I never felt like telescopic controllers could chip away at the handheld market. But like I said at the beginning of the video, phones are nothing more. Think about it. They are nothing more than handhelds without the controller part. They are the brain and they are the screen. That's all that matters in an actual Android handheld. The problem with telescopic controllers is that you couldn't fit them in your pocket. This you can. It basically feels as if you have another, truthfully though, fat phone with you, but one that's totally able to carry around. And because of that, this might be the actual first controller that people might choose instead of a proper handheld, especially because you get to continue to use this as you change phones. Let's say you upgrade once a year, or you upgrade every 2 years, you're basically getting a brand new handheld brain with fresh specs along with your phone, as long as you have something like this. And I just want to, again, kind of praise a little bit, you see, it takes a bit of force, the fact that something pocketable can morph into something so big. For me, because I loved the PSP Go, which I remind you again, I sold like an idiot for very little money because, I didn't know better, this instantly attracts you. And the good part is that if you have a huge camera bump, they actually thought about this. That's why you can move this, and you can also put it in portrait mode if you want. I'm really not crazy about portrait mode, but I'm gonna show it to you anyway. Is this the right way? Yeah, I have to take it out like this, I think. Yeah, like this. I was doing it the wrong way. And they even put little inscriptions here, to make it idiot-proof. For portrait mode, you stick it like this. You open it, you stick your phone something like this. Let me fit it properly. Come on, where's my aim? And to me, this is a bit silly, but yeah, if you love portrait mode, maybe for 3DS or maybe for DS or maybe for those games where you're a plane and you shoot other planes, then or for portrait arcade, then this might also be a solution for you. Now, to be fair, I will never use it like this. I will only use it as, in my own opinion, as it was designed to be used. And by that, I mean in beautiful landscape mode, as it was, I can show that. No, as it was meant to be played. For me, the fact that it looks and behaves essentially like a PSP Go is what makes this freaking precious. But there is a bad side to this controller, my dear nerds, and that is the price. The price starts at quite a pretty buck, at $144 as I recorded this, $145 to be fair. And at $145, you can rightfully so think that you can buy quite a decent handheld. You can go for either an Anbernic or maybe even a Retroid if you get it on promotion. Yeah, I think maybe even a Retroid. But I think you're missing the point if you think like that. This is not only a controller, at least I don't view it as only a controller. Yeah, this is cool. Yeah, this is new, this is innovative, but this is a success story. Hear me out. This is the part where I rant. I'm gonna put out my own personal opinion. We have basically a youngling, right? Josh, the one that had a dream. He was like, I have a dream of a perfect controller, and he took this nerdy dream and made a prototype. That prototype is the first incarnation of the Mcon, which was way less polished than what we have here. And from that, this awesome company called OSnap liked his concept and partnered with him. They put out all of their logistical know-how, and they really, in my opinion, I think this company is small, but they really sweated a lot and they tried their hardest to make this dream come true. And for me, personally, this controller represents a nice story as well. That of a young man, I can say that even though I think Josh is 20 or something by now, but I'm 36, I'm like super old, so I can call everyone a young man that's younger than me, okay? So, this young man had a dream, and unlike most of us, he somehow, despite all odds, despite how cruel this freaking planet is, somehow he managed to partner with the right team, with the right company, and he took that nerdy dream of his, because we all have nerdy dreams, and he somehow brought it to reality. And now there's this Romanian random guy that you're watching, which holds his dream in his hands. And that's kind of the thing. It's a premium price. I'm not gonna say otherwise. But you're basically rewarding the dare to do something new. Innovation. You're basically, and I know it sounds like bull poop, but I actually think like this. You're basically rewarding a risk. Companies can either do the same tired old telescopic controller ad infinitum, or they can get a signal that it's okay to experiment and that it's okay to encourage somebody else's vision. And that's what the Mcon personally means to me. I like this controller. I think it's on its way towards what would be, for me, the perfect controller. It's not there yet. I would personally... I view the current Mcon as an everything package. You get analog sticks, you get analog you get analog triggers, you get analog fancy sticks, which aren't affected by magnets, but it's quite a bit thick. My perfect controller, in case OSNAP is searching for feedback as well, would be to do any sacrifice that they have to. Get rid of the analog triggers, get rid of the sticks, put sliders instead, or even put touch surfaces like the Sony Xperia had, but make a controller that's so freaking thin that can live permanently on a phone. It doesn't really have to have this plate. It can have two railings and those can be attached with double-sided tape. I don't care. Like, a lot of thought has to be put into this. I'm no designer, but that for me would be the perfect controller. Now, granted, I'm talking about a dream. In reality, though, this is the closest one that we have so far. I want to see all companies, all controller companies that flirt around the handheld hobby, and I want all of them to jump on the magnetic train. To me, this is the future of controllers, and these controllers in the future might actually take bits and pieces away from the handheld market share. And that's what I want to see. Pressure drives competition, which drives innovation. Anyway, my dear nerds, this is my take on this. Thank you, Josh. And thank you, OSNAP team, for making this and for sending me a review unit. I really appreciate it. I really wanted to hunt this controller down from the first time I saw it, to be honest. I'm gonna leave a link in the video description in case you want to get one of your own. You need to understand, I think it's I think it goes without saying by this point, but this controller gets my endorsement. Yeah, you are paying a premium for it, but I told you you're not only buying the controller, you're buying into this initiative that kind of, in my opinion, needs to be encouraged. So tell me what you think, my dear nerds, in the comment section below. Do you agree with me? Do you think I'm a rambling old idiot? Should I grow a white beard? Should I, God, prepare for my 40s? It really affects me. Like, don't even get me started on entropy and the passing of age. I was like, I know, I was full of energy and I blinked and I'm nearing 40 right now. It's horrible. Yeah. Somebody needed to tell me that growing old is not a fun game. Anyway, this is all from me, my dear nerds. We'll see you. I'll see you in the next video. There's no we here. So tell me what you think. Mcon, yay or nay for you? Again, link in the description in case you're curious. Subscribe and like in case you haven't yet. And don't forget, I love you guys. You beautiful nerds. You younglings. Very much. Bye.